Hello everyone, and welcome back to Bricks and Dragons. Today we are doing another Figure Friday. Okay, so again, I'm still using my phone for doing this, so things are a little different. I kind of have a little bit of a marker here, so hopefully I'm keeping everything in screen. And here we go. So we got a Star Wars Black Series. This is Andor, Cassian Andor, and his droid. So when I saw this, unfortunately, you really don't get to see anything on the side of the package. You get just a little bit of this B2EMO, EMO, and then we have Cassian Andor on the other side. So I'm going to guess that we have the droid, we have Cassian, and we're going to find out here in a second. Kind of open this up with our handy dandy little pocket knife. And we're going to see how this goes. Hopefully we can keep everything in view. That is the harder thing with my phone in comparison to when I was using my actual camera. All right. So yes, we do have Cassian and we do have the droid. So Cassian is an interesting character. I did like him out of the Rogue One series. Watching the Andor show, it was pretty good. It kind of felt a little slow, but it was a pretty good show. I really liked how they had the droid. I was kind of hoping that they were going to come out with a Lego version of the droid as well, but they never did. But here we have in the 6-inch figure class for the Black Series, having the droid. So we have Cassian Andor, and then we have our droid. Let's start off with Cassian, see what we get here. Being a little different on how we open all this up. Actually, I guess I have that unlocked here. Oops, I got some tape on the side yet. So I'm going to kind of cut through this a little bit. I'm hoping I'm getting through here. Feels like I got some other tabs or something here, and I think that's what it is. I think the tape is going over, because this happens quite a bit with their boxes here. I've got tabs here, and that tape is going over the tab as well as it being right there. So we'll try and get this opened up somehow. Maybe if I just do the top, maybe that might work a little bit better. Okay, so now we got the top going. We'll figure this out. And of course, I know a lot of collectors are not the happiest with the boxes like this because you don't get to see the actual figures. So if you look inside there and say that figure just does not look quite how they want it to look. So it looks like Hasbro went back to doing the strings here again, which is another reason. I mean, you could untie them to make it go a little quicker. I'm going to try and see about cutting through these. This is an old pocket knife. I have not sharpened this in a long time because I don't typically need to. So we'll see how well this does. Here we are. And we got his old slug thrower here. Get this on my side so I can actually do this without hitting the camera here. Okay. So now we can take out his little noisemaker. And then there's Cassian. Okay. So I know I've seen another version of Cassian Andor. And he didn't have the jacket and all that on there. I don't know if that jacket's going to come off or not. But he does have a nice looking vest and all that on there. So it looks like he's got a t-shirt, a button shirt, and some sort of vest as well as a jacket. So he really looks like he's set for cold weather. Trying to move his knees and all that. So his knees do move. He's really got like some good cold weather gear. I think this is more or less what he was wearing when he was on that on the planet before they did the raid on the Imperial outpost, I think. So he is dressed pretty good. trying to figure out where his holster is, because normally with the 6-inch figure lines we have holsters, and I don't see a holster anywhere. So I'm guessing at this point then he's either holding onto his blaster or he's not holding his blaster, and that's all we have. So if I can get his blaster into his hand, which you would think with some of these figures, I do have a little bit of an issue trying to get their fingers in there, or the guns in the, there we go. All right. Here we are. Get him to look up here, hopefully at the camera. All right. That looks like he's about to do a little soda can shooting. Okay. He does have a good articulation. His shoulder goes back pretty good. His arms move okay, but I mean, it's brand new, so they're going to be a little stiffer. You don't want a real loose joints when you first start off with a figure, especially for the kids that are going to actually play this. Although I think from more of the things I hear, it's more of us adults that are really collecting a lot of these, because we find more interest. And for the price value of these figures, let's face it, these aren't the cheapest figures. It's not like, I think when I went to the store, I think a figure was like $5. So, but you got to remember that was many years ago. I don't think you can really equate that for today as well. But I don't think that it costs. I mean, I know there's a value for the materials and all that stuff, and you know, it is nicely printed. I mean, there's a lot of different colors here, so trying to get all that done, that might take more and specialized stuff or whatever. But yeah, I just don't know. I don't know how much it actually costs to manufacture this stuff, but I think like a lot of people, it could probably be a little less than what it is. All right, so on the back side here for our droid was just in here. Of course, we have 3 ties here. So we're going to open up our droid. We're going to get the droid out, and this is actually a little bit more of the reason why I picked up the figure. I mean, Cassian Andor is an interesting character. So far, I really have not picked up very many figures from Rogue One or anything. So, okay, so the wheels don't move here, but we do have the wheels. So hopefully I'm doing this so you can see very well. The wheels move. Trucks go up and down a little bit. They're not independent of each other. They're just side by side. Now this is supposed to open up, I believe, because this is how he was in the show. There we go. Now we'll get him going here, and then if I can get the head up here. And then we can move the head around. That's awesome. I don't know if you can move the head around with the top piece kind of collapsed at all or not. It's a very simple droid. I think with the articulation, you can kind of aim them up a little bit or aim them down a little bit. But it's a very simplistic droid. If I can get them up here, that would just be wonderful. Now, there's no extra arms or anything. And honestly, I don't remember them having any arms when I was watching the show. I may have to try and rewatch it. But really, I'm guessing that all this would be is either a data droid or just a straight astrogation droid. It has no arms for doing any mechanical work or anything else. so it could just, you know, transfer information or store some coordinates for your hyperdrive. But still, it's always fun to me having like droids. I guess in some regards, I look at a lot of the droids almost like having pets and stuff like that in like role playing games and stuff like that, or you know, fun characters to kind of see how they interact in the rest of the world. In the Star Wars universe, they're just seen as things. Um, some of them get a little bit more of a sentient look to them or whatever. Um, this is a whole different. So apparently he got hurt and they replaced it with a different one. So he's kind of a beat up droid, kind of like what they did with Chopper, but gives him a little extra character. But looking at them, they look good. Kind of wish the wheels moved a little bit, but there's pluses and minuses on both regards, because if the wheels move, that means that if it's not perfectly level, it's going to slide around. So either way, Cassian, he looks good. This is all a nice rubberized plastic here. The boots, the print looks very nice. I just kind of wish he would have had a holster or something, that's all. I don't want to seem like I'm trying to strip him down here, but I just wanted to see if there's a holster or something in here that I just don't see. And I don't really see a holster. He's got some ampules or something like that over here. But otherwise, that's about it. You know, and the fact that this is a belt that they would typically use for somebody that's got a holster, but yeah, it's not a holster. He's got some tools or something there, like lock picks or something. Some mechanical tools or something to fix things or whatever. But otherwise, you know, we can see that he's got a little bit of a beard going, the goatee. But yeah, he looks pretty good. Trying to see how much the neck moves here. Moves a little bit, but it's really more just the head. So if you want him to look down or whatever, it's really just the head looking down. So as he's sitting there saying, hey, well, what do you think about whatever? So yeah. The gun's not bent up or anything. Kind of like last week when we had the G.I. Joe, some of the guns for the barrels, they were bent a little bit. It's not a big deal for me because it's all imaginative play, but I'm sure for some of the real serious collectors, they want everything to look just picture perfect. And sometimes when you know, they're not stored standing up, and not everything looks picture perfect and how I store them, so that's on me as well. And everything's out of the box, so that's all we got. It's really just the two figures. Andor's got the one side arm. There's no extra tools or anything there, so that's it. So, all right. Well, that's what we get for it. Pretty good figure though, I think. Nice collection, a nice addition to the collection. So, you know, as far as whether you want to leave them in here or if you want to, you know, with a lot of the Star Wars figures, you could almost use them in like a G.I. Joe setting or some other setting or whatever else. I almost want to say that because it's all kind of interconnected. Marvel's done G.I. Joe, and that they started off doing the G.I. Joe. And I know that Marvel also did Star Wars and all the other ones. So, because they were the big powerhouse, you could almost put either of them into each other's universe if you want to for a big diorama. If you want to keep them separate, that works too. For me, it's just, you know, what characters do I really enjoy? I thought the droid, although it didn't have a lot of time on the screen, I thought it was a pretty interesting character. Cassian Andor has got I know that it seemed like they were trying to go for a longer thing in the whatever, but yeah. We'll see you in the next video.